Rabbi Haflo'oh, the Heilige Haflo'oh. First, he was a Rav in Poland, ended up in Frankfurt. 1731 is when he was born, till 1805. The Sfarim, of course, mainly known as the Haflo'oh, Hamikna, Hamakna, different ways of pronouncing it. Ponim Yofos, who doesn't know the Ponim Yofos in the Torah? Haflo'oh, Ksubas, these are classic Sfarim that the Olim are learning. Now it's very, very interesting that he spent time with the Yekis, but Lemaise he was so far from Litvish. He was a Chotka v'Chosid, he was a Talmud, the Measures of Magid, the Dov Be. Some people deny it because it's too hard to swallow that a Litvak, how can it be someone who's mamash the leader of all the Lomdas of Yeshiva would be Hasidish, but Lemaise the Metzias is that he was. The Haflo'oh's older brother was of Shmuel Shmelko of Nikolsburg, Talmud Muvak also of the Magid of Mezrich, and he was brought by his brother, the Haflo'oh, to the Magid, and they learned by him. They didn't spend too much time there, but they learned by him. He was probably one of the most universally accepted Rabbonim of the time, because he had a flavor of both sides. He had a bit of the Hasidic flavor and the Litvish Lomdus as well. It's interesting how the Ponim Yofos, if you've learned it, never actually quotes the Magid, and quotes a lot of Hasidic Shavuos, but never the Magid. Some people say it was censored, that they took it out. Now he was born in Shotkov to a very Hasidic family. His father was a big Rav there in Shotkov, Rav Tzvi Hirsch. So he was a Talmud of his father and of his brother, Rav Shmuel Shmelko of Nikolsburg. In 1772, Rabbi Haflo'oh was invited to be the chief rabbi of Frankfurt, one of the most prominent positions, literally. And he left Eastern Europe and he traveled to Frankfurt in order to become the chief rabbi of Frankfurt. And he spent the rest of his life here. No one disputed him when he was a Rav. Tremendous accomplishment in those days for a Rav. One of his most famous Talmidim was Rav Moshe Sofer, the future Chassam Sofer. Even though Lemaisa, the Haflo'oh didn't practice Chasidus, or he didn't daven Nusach Svad, he did daven according to the Arizal, which many of the Chassidim, and he did a lot of Chassidish things in private. Many of the Goyim used to come in specifically for advice, and he composed poetry. And he composed poetry even for one of the German monarchs. I'll just tell you one of the Torahs that the Haflo'oh says. Posek in Tehillim, Perek Lamed, Posek Daled. Hashem ha'eliso min sha'ol nafshi. Rabbi Shalom lifted my soul from the grave. Says the Haflo'oh, says the Ponim Yofos. The Rabbi Shalom does a man the greatest favor by giving him punishment and suffering in this world, because it causes him to do tshuva, and his neshama is purified, so he may once again get his eternal reward. And says the Haflo'oh, the death that a person experiences in this world is what saves a person from punishment after he leaves this world. Says the Haflo'oh, that's the pshat and the posuk in Tehillim, Hashem ha'eliso min sha'ol nafshi. Hashem, you lifted my soul. How? Min sha'ol nafshi, from the grave. By descending into the pit of suffering into this world, explains the Haflo'oh, a person's neshama is elevated, so he's able to get his rightful place in Olam Haba. His chus of his neshama should be made itzosha for all of us. We should daven, and everything that he brought down to the world should try to grab something of his midah also.